And thank you for joining us on this week's episode of your Sunday Tonic, the Sunday magazine, reaching you live on the Unity Station, NT Channel 5 Abuja. I am your uncle, Serafina Okun Omekwe. On tonight's episode of the program, Association of Yoruba Traditional Rulers in northern states have thrown their weight behind President Tinubu's re-election ahead of 2027, and creative youth and adolescent skills development takes center stage in terms of workforce increasingly attracts importance this holiday season. In education, we will be bringing to you the glimpse of schools' graduations across the FCT. This is not forgetting the day's homilies from the pulpits, the usual entertainment, and highlights from the world of sports. So please do stay for a roller coaster ride. Sunday Magazine reaching you live. I am Serafina. Let's begin on a religious note. A light that shines must be kept burning, and a faith that inspires must be lived. This message formed the focus of worship at Echo Good News Maitama as Christians gathered for Sunday service, speaking on the theme, Keep Your Lights Burning. The senior pastor of the church, Jonas Sampson, reminded worshippers that faith shines brightest when expressed through justice, humility, and religious conduct. Our religious correspondent, Isaac Jibble, reports.
Worshippers gathered in large numbers, lifting song of praise and thanksgiving as they joined in prayers and worship. The service provided an opportunity for the congregation to renew their faith and reflect on the responsibility of keeping their spiritual light burning.
When we listen to God, we'll be able to hear Him speak to us that this is the way to go, either to the right or to the left. And, that keeps us in check.
The church is an agent of social development, and as members of the church, and as a church which is a body of Christ within the nation, we need to also see that social engineering starts from the church, and from the message ongoing is talking about how a nation revives itself and begins to deal with the social ills within the society.
Delivering the sermon, the senior pastor, Equa Good News Maitama, Reverend Dr. Jonas Sampson, encouraged Christians to remain steadfast in their walk with God and allow their faith to guide their daily conduct. He emphasized the importance of humility, justice, compassion, and integrity as practical expressions of a living faith.
As we go about our daily endeavors, that these three things should be registered in our heart. Number one, ensure that in the position where God has placed you, either in the office, wherever, ensure that you do justice. Very important. Then show mercy and also stay humble. When you do this, God Himself will be honored.
There are still people who genuinely fear God, who genuinely love the Lord, and who are on their faces day and night, crying, praying for His divine mercy and intervention, and who, most importantly, are doing what they can to the best of their ability and the grace given to them to ensure that the right things are done in this country.
Worshippers were also urged to remain committed despite the challenges and distractions of daily life. The message stressed that keeping the light burning requires consistency, obedience, and a willingness to positively influence families and communities through righteous living.
Many thanks, Isaac. Yoruba traditional rulers and obas from the 19 northern states and the FCT has held their quarterly meeting declaring support for the re-election of the president in the next general elections. In a press briefing led by Chairman Dr. Mortala Adeleke, And the association commended the president for the good works he has been doing in the areas of improved economy, education, and security situation of the country. Chukwemeka Chukwori brings us details.
Dr. Murtala Adeleke said the group has resolved to support the government for a second term to consolidate on ongoing legacy leadership initiatives to drive the nation's growth trajectory. He said the security situation in the north has improved, attributing the feat to the efforts of the military and other security agencies in the fight against banditry and the protection of lives and property. Dr. Adeleke also commended the government for the increase in the salary of security personnel.
Recently, some few days ago, what happened in both Kwara and Niger State and Borno State, all the people that were rescued. These are things that really don't normally happen before now. And nobody will talk about this. People just talk about that the government, as if the government is not doing anything. We want to appreciate the president for his leadership role in making this thing happen quietly.
On education, the association commended the establishment of Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, which he said has provided opportunity for students who may otherwise have been unable to pursue higher education.
A lot of people keep their children home because they cannot afford to send them to school, but it's no more like that. So we are part of the people enjoying it, and we have to come out to say it. There is no point for us to know the truth and keep it to ourselves. Since this government came into existence, there has never been a strike.
Dr. Adeleke further commended the government for what he described as improvements in the economy, as well as increased availability of petroleum products in northern states with improved access to fuel to ease transportation.
But since the coming of this government, we in the north, we have been enjoying steady fuel supply in all our fuel stations. You just driving by and go. These are things that our people are suffering on before, and we get relief. So our own intention is not to criticize, but to appreciate the present government and let them know that we are for them, we support them 100%.
Stakeholders at the meeting expressed support for the administration, saying its policy have made life easier for Nigerians.
And away from politics, as the nation continues to expand opportunities in the renewable energy sector, developing a skilled workforce is becoming increasingly important. To support this demand, the Nigerian Content Development and Monetary Board, in partnership with Cadence Corporate Limited, has trained over 20 youths in solar installation, with outstanding participants receiving awards for excellence. Asabi Williams reports.
The intensive training exposed participants to both the theoretical and practical aspects of solar power installation, including system design, maintenance, and safety procedures. Participants expressed confidence in applying the skills acquired and pledged to use the knowledge to create social impact and sustainable livelihoods.
I feel happy about the program, and I see it as opportunity to start earning from this wonderful skill. Yeah. So I see it as a very great opportunity to put food on my table.
Yes, I'm one of the participants of this great program, and I thank Almighty Allah for the privilege given to me, and I thank the organization, the NCDMB, the Cadence Corporate Limited, and all the facilitators, the project managers, and all the students.
The initiative is part of ongoing efforts to equip young Nigerians with marketable skills, deepen local content development, and position them to take advantage of opportunities in the expanding renewable energy sector.
So the idea of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board is to close the gap by empowering locals. So this training has benefited 30 participants. We had a large pool of applicants, but we had to streamline it based on the budgets and the requirements for the training.
Facilitators also emphasized the need for professionalism, strict adherence to the industry standards, and continuous learning to remain relevant in the evolving clean energy industry.
For this particular center, the area we focused on is electricity, metering, and building communication.
The training culminated in practical demonstrations by participants, while those who distinguished themselves in categories of the program were recognized and presented with prizes for their outstanding performance.
The African Women in Leadership Organization has challenged young people to build the character, competence, and consistency required to provide responsible leadership in an increasingly complex world. The call was made at the 2026 Youth Summit in Abuja, where speakers and participants examined the values, skills, and sense of purpose needed to bridge the gap between young people's aspirations for leadership and the responsibility that comes with it. Rabia Tribe takes a look at this.
For many young people, leadership is often associated with position, influence, and the ability to make decisions. But speakers at this summit say effective leadership must begin much earlier with the values and character of the individual. Against this backdrop, the African Women in Leadership Organization brought together young people and leaders to examine what it takes to build a generation capable of leading with integrity, competence, and consistency.
Our young people are becoming very skilled. They can get access to trainings, to information. Everything is online. But then we now notice that because of the speed of the access that they have to trainings and information, they are struggling, because no matter how skilled you are, you are going to deal with human beings. You are going to deal with systems. And we noticed there was a value and character gap. And so that's why we chose this theme.
A lot of people, they can be saying something else. They are doing something different. Ability for you to, what you are saying and your life, your daily living, go with the same thing. It is what we are talking about. Character. We want the youth to have excellent character.
One of the keynote speakers, Emmanuel Adejo, placed character at the foundation of effective leadership, describing it as the bedrock upon which other leadership qualities must stand. He urged young people to consciously develop their character, stressing that competence without integrity can undermine the very purpose of leadership.
It's important that people are able to grow in character. Trust is not the issue, but character is the issue. Because once there's character, every other thing can be built upon that. And that's what we're here. That's what we're speaking about in the ALO Leadership Conference.
Beyond the keynote addresses, panel sessions provided participants with an opportunity to examine practical dimensions of youth leadership. One of the sessions focused on values, integrity, and purpose, with discussions highlighting the need for young leaders to understand what they stand for, remain accountable to their principles, and ensure that their ambitions are driven by a clear sense of purpose.
So character is not something we should compromise on, it's something we should go all out for.
As the call for greater youth participation in leadership continues, the African Women in Leadership Organization Youth Summit leaves participants with a message that leadership is not defined solely by position. It is also measured by character, strengthened by competence, and sustained by consistency.
Train a youth and you train a nation. We take a quick break now. When this program returns, we will go to schools graduations and lots more. Just stay with us.
Some people are getting to something thousand. Some are getting to something thousand. Is it a rocket science?
Our definition of news is getting the unusual in and around the FCT. Fresh and factual, from education, transportation, politics, sports, judiciary, security to the grassroots. You can go on and on. You will find us there.
Residents, the construction of the Lot 1B of the Abuja Light Rail Transport System.
Whatever way you chose to
many have remained
onlookers and motorists alike watch in horror as the wave upon wave of water.
For security agencies.
With our on-air personalities, we bring to you delightful presentations.
On the news tonight.
FCT Police Command.
Telecommunication giant empowers customers.
NT 1805 Abuja News. Always authentic, with no room for fake news. We are the Unity Station, using the news to unite the nation.
Many thanks indeed for staying with the Unity Station. Talking health now. In the Kapwa area of Lugbe, an uncompleted hospital project has become a source of growing concern for residents. What was once seen as a beacon of hope for improved healthcare now stands neglected, overtaken by weeds and structural decay. Our correspondent Isaac Jubbo tells us how the abandoned facility has left the community grappling with limited access to medical services and rising frustration among locals. The report.
Residents of Kapua community in Lugbe are expressing concern over an abandoned hospital project that once promised improved health care for the area. Construction, which began several years ago, now lies incomplete and overground, denying the community much-needed medical services.
They started it, and as it stopped, nobody has been coming here to look or to trying to do something to bring it into completion. And our problem here, we are asking the government to come to our aid, to come and look at this project, to finish it so that we can be able to reach where the doctors can attend to us. If a pregnant woman, she is in labor, there's no any nearby hospital. If you don't have car, it's a problem.
Residents lament that the abandoned structure has become both a safety risk and a symbol of neglect. They are calling on the government to intervene and ensure the project completion.
I can't lie, with me to her when my wife was pregnant. She wanted to give birth. It was even at midnight. But how can we do? We don't have anything to do. Like, I should look for a bike man. My mom was so pain. You have to look for the bike man. So the hospital. It's not even because of all the bad people. We didn't need for the whole community. Like, we didn't need something like CVs. Like, even some people, they are even, I'm talking to you now, some of my neighbor, they need to very soon they will have a labor.
The play, me first work go help us, me can help us for I'm a Kapwa. No get hospital, no hospital with the fine. See am, we get am, me the repair am, we not get person go help us repair am.
They also decry the lack of communication from relevant authorities on when work will resume, leaving them worried about continued poor access to health care and gap in communication development planning.
Many thanks, Isaac Jibbo. Let's hope that Mr. Project would also look at activities in the health sector. Now, away from that, parents have been urged to reinforce the knowledge acquired by their children in Quranic studies to guide them in living by the teachings and values of Prophet Muhammad. Aisha Bashir reports that the principal of the National Mosque Academy gave the advice at the Quranic recitation graduation ceremony held at the National Mosque, Abuja. The report.
Lack of parental encouragement has been identified as one of the challenges affecting the growth of Quranic education in the country. The collaboration of 3 Islamic schools, however, has produced graduates who demonstrated their knowledge of the Holy Quran through recitation and their mastery of selected hadith.
وإذ قال إبراهيم لأبيه آزر أتتخذون أصناما ما يأتيهم من ذكر من ربهم محدث إلا استمعوا.
Speaking on behalf of the parents, Hussein Al-Ali called on government to develop and enforce standards for Quranic education to ensure uniformity and quality in its teaching and learning.
It's actually a very fulfilling day to be able to witness my son and other of his colleagues beside and together with some of his friends go through this very important ritual, completing of the Holy Book of Allah.
I've learned how to memorize the whole Quran, to recite the whole Quran,
and there's so many hadith and fiqh and others.
And teaches us about peace, how to be peaceful with everybody and live in coexistence. I plan to be peaceful with everybody and live peacefully, happily with everybody.
Let them go by the teaching of the Holy Quran. Let their life represent the Quran that they read. Let them continue reading Quran day and night, because Quran is a guidance to every Muslim.
We wish them good success in this way. They should be the ambassadors of Islam, those that will represent Islam in the best way the Prophet Muhammad has brought it to us, and those who will preach nothing but the peace of Islam.
We all know that religious keep us grounded, especially with our children and with what is in the world. So we need to make sure we maintain the knowledge of having the basic and the understanding of Islam.
Islamic scholars at the ceremony also emphasized the responsibility of parents in raising children with sound Islamic values. They recalled the teaching of Prophet Muhammad that educating a child in the Islamic way is among the best forms of charity, stressing that proper upbringing remains essential to preserving values, building character, and instilling good virtues in the younger generation.
Very huge congratulations to the outstanding students reciting the whole Quran. Come on. Well, still talking academics now. With pride of academic accomplishments occasioned by joy of completing secondary school, 2026 graduating students of St. Aloysius Secondary School, Abuja has celebrated brilliance, talent, skills, and quality knowledge, parents and guests during the 11th graduation and prize-giving day of the famous Mission School, commended what they call the deliberate tutelage and mentoring of the young scholars by the school. Our correspondent, Abdullah Ajia, brings us moments of the celebration.
We look forward to the
Speeches suffice as the occasion demands to encourage the graduating students who received congratulations from their parents, guests, and the school for academic accomplishments.
The school focused more on the formation of character, the right value, which society needs.
The school is a very great school, and the focus of this particular school is the discipline.
The school reiterates that its core values and principles of morals, innovations, spiritual guidance, quality academic and skills impacted remain a distinguishing feature of the school.
This school has built a standard over the years. It's a mission-based school of which our children get to learn a lot of morals from here.
It's been a nice journey I started from nursery all the way to secondary, and I would like to thank my parents and everybody who has helped me so far, including the school, our teachers, our headmistress.
Academically, St. Aloysius is a very good school.
In terms of academics, my teachers have put me through a series of tests and examination that trained me and molded me to the lady that I am today.
Performances from students thrilled the audience, demonstrating their talents. The presentation and breaking of the kola nut symbolizes the school's continued touch with Nigerian cultural values. Speakers acknowledged that the graduation is a fulfillment of dreams supported by the collaborative efforts between the school and parents, as the graduates were tasked to be worthy ambassadors of the school and family as they pursue greater educational accomplishments.
Remember that the world you are entering needs your knowledge, your character, your creativity, and your courage.
Guest speaker encouraged the graduating students to embrace entrepreneurship for self-reliance in society.
And individuals must work together to promote practical skills.
Students who distinguished themselves in different subjects were given prizes. The school used the occasion to unveil its annual magazine and school compendium.
Congratulations to the graduating students. We now move on to our entertainment for latest in that sector.
On entertainment news today, Casey Musgraves is launching her 8th headlining concert tour called the Middle of Nowhere Tour on August 20th in support of her 7th studio album, Middle of Nowhere. The tour has 2 legs, 37 shows total, and runs through Europe and North America until February 26, 2027. Premiering in cinemas across Nigeria on August 28, 2026. It's one of several big historical genre titles trending in Nollywood this year, telling a story centered on the battle for Lagos and distributed by Universal, and it's released in US theaters on August 7th, 2026. It's Glock's latest directorial outing after building a reputation in the rom-coms via folks and
for me, it's about the after.
Oh, come on.
2 people lying there.
We now join Asabi Williams for latest happenings in the world of sports.
Nigeria legend Segun Odegbami has confirmed that Tottenham Hotspur once wanted to sign him and recalled how the proposed move to the English club eventually fell through. At the time, Kojo Alakija was the national team manager and he arranged for Odegbami to travel to England for an assessment with a view to securing a transfer. The 1980 Africa Cup of Nations winner made the trip but surprisingly never turned up at Tottenham Hotspur's training ground. Had the move gone ahead, Odegbami could have become the first Nigerian-born winger to feature for Tottenham Hotspur ahead of John Chiedozie and Arnaut Danjuma. Odegbami said in an interview, "I went there for the trial and ended up in the Empire Ballroom dancing with, and I never went. I was the first to be listed in the top 10 in Africa, and I was the first to be the 3rd best player in Africa. I was the first to be the 2nd best in Africa." In another development, Sheffield United States have decided to send Nigeria forward Ehije Ukaki out on loan before the close of the summer transfer window, as the championship club looks to give the youngster valuable first-team experience. Ukaki arrived at the Blades from Botes last summer, signing a 3-year contract until the end of 2027-2028 season. Despite showing plenty of promise, the young attacker has struggled to break into Sheffield United first team and is yet to make his full championship debut. In search of the game time, he spent the second half of last season on loan at Tromitos FC, where he made 16 appearances in the Super League.
Many thanks, Asabi Williams. This is on this beautiful note we call it a day. Many thanks for your time. Good night.